Welcome to Nugify Podcast Summaries.
Jensen Huang's vision for the future, the AI-driven revolution unfolding. A conversation that matters.
In a conversation as expansive as the technology he builds, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang sat down with Cleo Abram to discuss a vision that isn't just about faster chips or better graphics. It's about the reshaping of entire industries, the evolution of intelligence itself, and the fundamental constraints that will define the next decade of human progress. Jensen is no ordinary CEO. Under his leadership, NVIDIA has transformed from a company that built graphics cards for gaming into one of the most consequential players in artificial intelligence, robotics, and computational science. If the past 30 years have been about accelerating computing, the next decade, he believes, will be about accelerating intelligence. But what exactly does that mean, and what comes next?
The origins, from gaming to artificial intelligence.
To understand the present, we need to rewind to the 90s, when NVIDIA pioneered the modern GPU. Initially developed to enhance video game graphics, GPUs turned out to be far more powerful than anyone had anticipated. Huang explains that computing problems can generally be divided into two types: those that must be solved sequentially and those that can be solved in parallel. Traditional CPUs were optimized for the former. GPUs, it turned out, were perfect for the latter. That distinction, though technical, set in motion a transformation. Game developers needed realistic physics and immersive worlds, which required immense computational power. The more NVIDIA improved its GPUs, the better it could simulate reality. And that same principle, running thousands of computations in parallel, would later unlock AI, scientific research, self-driving cars, and much more. Jensen describes GPUs as time machines, not just in the sense that they speed things up, but because they allow researchers to accomplish in their lifetime what would have taken multiple lifetimes before. Whether simulating molecular interactions for drug discovery or running climate models, the ability to accelerate computation changes what is possible.
CUDA, the turning point.
The real breakthrough came in the 2000s with CUDA, NVIDIA's software platform that allowed developers to use GPUs for general-purpose computing. Before CUDA, scientists had to trick GPUs into thinking their problems were graphics-related just to access their raw power. CUDA changed that, giving programmers an accessible way to harness the GPU's parallel processing capabilities. It was a massive bet, one that required the company to rewire its entire approach to computing. But it worked. By the early 2010s, researchers had discovered that GPUs were the ideal engines for deep learning. When AlexNet, a revolutionary neural network model, shattered image recognition benchmarks in 2012, it did so by running on NVIDIA's GPUs. This moment, Jensen says, was the inflection point. AI wasn't just a theoretical pursuit anymore. It was a force that would redefine computing itself.
The AI explosion. Why now?
AI has been in development for decades, but why does it feel like it's everywhere now? Jensen explains that major technological shifts take time. In 2012, NVIDIA saw the promise of deep learning, but it took years of investment, both in hardware and in faith, for the industry to catch up. We believed in AI long before anyone else did, he says. And when you believe something deeply, you invest in it, even when nobody else does. NVIDIA poured billions into AI infrastructure, building chips like the DGX series, which became the backbone of machine learning research. Today, those investments have paid off. AI is no longer just an academic pursuit. It's being embedded into everyday life, from ChatGPT to self-driving cars to medical breakthroughs. But Jensen emphasizes that AI is still evolving. While transformers have dominated AI architecture recently, NVIDIA doesn't see them as the final breakthrough, just another step in the long arc of progress. Attention mechanisms like flash attention and hierarchical attention are already pushing beyond today's limits. Computer science hasn't ended, he says. AI research hasn't all given up. That belief shapes how NVIDIA designs its hardware. Adaptable, not locked into a single AI model. The next 10 years, he predicts, will be even bigger. The first wave of AI was about research. The next will be about application. AI will move beyond digital spaces and into the physical world, powering robots, optimizing logistics, advancing climate science, and even revolutionizing medicine.
A world of robots.
For Jensen, robotics is the next frontier. He envisions a world where everything that moves will be robotic. From self-driving cars to factory automation to humanoid robots, the physical world is about to be transformed just as the digital world was. But training robots is tricky. Unlike AI chatbots, which learn from text, robots must learn from real-world experience. This creates a paradox. To get smarter, they need data, but gathering real-world data is slow, expensive, and risky. NVIDIA's solution? Omniverse and Cosmos. Digital simulation environments where robots can train in virtual worlds before deploying in reality. This marks a fundamental shift from learning from data to learning from simulation. Instead of requiring millions of real-world interactions, AI models can now be trained in endlessly varied digital environments, testing different lighting conditions, terrains, and unexpected obstacles, all without ever risking real-world failures. If this works, robots won't just be tools, they'll be companions. Jensen sees a future where we all have personal AI assistants, akin to Star Wars R2-D2, guiding us, helping us learn, and seamlessly integrating into our lives.
The constraints: energy and physics.
Despite all this progress, Jensen is clear about the real bottleneck: physics. Every AI breakthrough eventually runs into a hard limit: energy efficiency. The ultimate constraint isn't money, it's physics, he says. How much work can we get done within the limitations of energy? AI models are growing larger, and while GPUs have become vastly more efficient, the fundamental problem remains. Flipping bits and moving information requires energy. NVIDIA has already improved computing efficiency by 10,000 times since 2016. But the next phase of innovation will depend on pushing those limits even further.
AI safety. Borrowing from aviation.
With such rapid progress, concerns are inevitable. AI hallucinations, misinformation, deepfake impersonation, these aren't just hypothetical risks. They're already happening. But Jensen sees the solution as engineering-driven. AI safety, he argues, requires redundancy, just like in aviation. Planes have multiple fail-safes. From autopilot systems to human oversight, AI should be no different. There will always be risks, he says. But the answer isn't to slow down, it's to build better safeguards.
How should people prepare?
Jensen's advice is simple. Learn AI. Just as previous generations had to learn how to use computers, today's generation must learn how to work with AI. He suggests experimenting with AI tools like ChatGPT, understanding how to prompt effectively, and thinking critically about how AI can enhance any career, from law to medicine to engineering. Prompting AI is like asking the right questions, he says. It's a skill, and those who master it will have an advantage.
Legacy. How Jensen Huang wants to be remembered.
Toward the end of the conversation, the host asks a deeply personal question. How does Jensen want to be remembered? His answer is strikingly simple. They made an extraordinary impact. That impact, he hopes, will be felt in the worlds of science, robotics, and AI-driven discovery. He imagines a future where NVIDIA isn't just the company that powered video games, but the company that transformed how humanity thinks, learns, and creates. And if the past is any indication, he might just be right.